Hello there everybody, this is Runt9 and welcome back to Cities Skylines. In today's video I wanted to dive into some of the more advanced features in public transit management in Cities Skylines. This is something that I've seen come up a couple of times, that people are curious how they view more information about how many people are waiting at certain public transit stops, and how they can sort of manage their public transit in a little bit better of a way. So we're going to talk about a few things today. Again, I don't think this will be a very long tutorial, but I wanted to just give a little bit more insight into some of the more advanced features that Cities Skylines provides you to manage your bus and metro and monorail and train routes and all this type of stuff. And so as you can see right now, I already have the screen up, but we're actually going to step back for a moment and take a little bit of a broader view. So this is a city that I was playing with for a little while. As you'll kind of see with my little Stream It notification bar up here, I'm actually running the real-time mod and the realistic population mod, which is a fun little combo, but has no real bearing on what we're going to look at today. Everything that we're looking at today is available in vanilla, although I think that it is related to the mass transit DLC. Not 100% sure on that, but I would say that more than likely you need to have the mass transit DLC to be able to edit some of these more advanced features. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up to info views and dive right into the transit info view. And so you can see that I've got, a metro loop that kind of goes around with some tunnels that dive through the heart of my city, east to west and north to south. And I've also got some bus lines that run along some of the avenues and go between different parts of the city. And so this is a small population city. Again, I'm using realistic populations, so if you go look at one of these households, it's only 1 out of 1 for a single family household. But that doesn't mean that I didn't have traffic problems. I mean, traffic flow is only at 91%, and that's partially because with the real-time mod, it is 3:30 in the morning, so not a lot of people are out on the road. But I think my traffic flow will fall down into the 80s during rush hour. And so I started trying to curb that with some bus and metro routes, and actually cable cars as well, because this is a mountainous map that, as you can see, has a lot of elevation to it, which I think made for some very pretty looking cityscapes. And I was going to start building out a downtown area down here before I kind of got frustrated with some money issues and some other stuff, and kind of decided I wanted to start on a new map that we may be seeing in a future episode. But if you take a look at your transport view, obviously this is what a lot of people already know about, as you can see how many residents and tourists are going through each of your different transit routes. But what's interesting is if you click on the magnifying glass, you see a much more detailed view of each line that you have in your public transport. Now, a mod that I absolutely highly recommend on PC is the Auto Line Color Redux. So I didn't actually go through and color all of these lines myself. The Auto Line Color Redux will automatically change the colors of your lines after you build them, and will even name them based off of the streets that they're related to. So once you're in this view, you see a lot more information on your different lines. You can see the different colors. You can actually toggle the visualization of them on and off on the map, as well as see how many stops each of them has, how many vehicles are running on each line, how many passengers each one is carrying. You can see if you want to have them run only daytime, only nighttime, or both, which in vanilla I wouldn't mess with too much. Most of the time you want to have them run all day, but even in vanilla, if you have a leisure district, for example, which I believe came with the After Dark expansion, But in your commercial specialization, if you have a leisure specialization, it gets a little bit more traffic at night. So maybe you want to have buses or metro that run only at nighttime for your leisure districts. And I do believe that tourism runs all day, but you may even want to do that for your tourist districts as well. So going back to this view, the part that I use the most, however, is this magnifying glass at the end. Also, one useful note is you can click the X and it will delete the line entirely, which for me, if I go in and start looking at passengers and I see a line that's underperforming, namely if I've had it around for a while and it's still in the single digits on passengers, I'll delete one. Which I've done a couple of times in this city already, is I had a line that was running, I think it was down here. I was running it along this outer avenue, through this tunnel, up into this section, and I never saw it get above like 7 passengers or so. I just came in here and deleted the line, nice and easy, and people didn't seem to mind. It really didn't affect traffic too much over here. And I found that that's pretty much the easiest way to delete lines in this game. So let's dive into our busiest bus route. If you click the magnifying glass, it's going to take you down here. And you can also click and drag to move this window around, which I tend to drag it down into the bottom left-hand corner while I'm diagnosing routes. So what this does is it zooms in on this line. And this is far and away the best place to see the firm details on a particular line. And this works for, again, bus, tram, metro, train, ferry, blimp, and monorail. Does not work for cable cars or taxis. And this shows you each station in your route, where each bus is in your route, and whether or not, or how many people it's carrying at the time. And you can scroll through and see how many people are waiting at every stop in your line. And even better than that, you can click on a stop to see where it's at, and then you can scroll down to, or zoom in to see all the different people waiting at your stop. So what I can see right here is I've got a stop here that has 35 people waiting. Now, I've had some weird issues with the city where the buses are bugging out. I've got some weird sloping roads that I think cause some issues with the bus lines. But in general, this is far and away the easiest way to see, oh, I'm getting a bit of a buildup here. Usually you would just go look and see, oh, well, there's a lot of people waiting for the bus here. I need to, provide more bus lines or something like that. You can see a lot of people got on the bus. You can click on a bus as well to see, it's got 30 out of 30. You can also click on line details while you have a bus highlighted, and it'll take you to that same visualization you were at before. And again, with Auto Lines Redux, you have refresh name and color, which will redo the line color again, as well as update the name. And you can go back to Lines Overview, which brings this window back up if you don't already have it, as well as deleting the line. Now, this line has caught back up, and you can see this bus is bugged out a little bit, which, again, has happened a bit with this city. It's a bit of a frustration that I kind of wanted to start over again to try to see what would be going on. But one of the things that I've done on a different route, and I want to find the one that goes by the university. So you can see under here that there's a lot of people waiting for the metro down here. And this bus stop looks like it's fairly popular. I could have sworn you were able to actually click on the bus stop, but instead I'll just click on the bus and go to line details, and now I'm back looking at this bus line. And you can see I've already bumped the vehicle count modifier way up on this one. Because again, I have a high school and a university in this area. There's my university, there's my high school, and a lot of people are in school right now. Again, it's the real-time mod, so it's 10 o'clock in the morning, so there are a lot of people there. I knew that during peak hours, I would have huge pile-ups at a couple of these stations, have 100+ people waiting. So you can just go in and drag this slider up and down to adjust how many vehicles are on the route. And so I think I had it at 20 vehicles. And that's another great way to manage the public transit in your city, is understanding, hey, I've got a lot of people here. If we go back into this blue line, north, south, center line, it's only got 9 passengers right now. Again, apparently because things are bugged or there's some high traffic. Again, my transit in this city has not been super well built out, but if I go click on this stop here, you can see how many people are waiting on different lines here. And it seems like there is a backup here. And again, being able to see that there's a bunch of trains backed up right here tells me that I might have a bugged train, or there might be a block here, but it looks like we just have a bugged train at this station. So I can just click on this metro train and remove this vehicle, and maybe this will pick things back up. Let's go back to line details and see if that kind of fixes our problem. Now, of course, you can always visualize this by looking at the underground system and seeing that, hey, we're going to pick up all those people, and that seemed to clear that problem up. But if we go back to this stop up here, again, we've got a lot of people, and I think that we could probably use a couple more vehicles on this route. So I'm just going to adjust it up to where there's 6 vehicles on this route to make sure that people don't have to wait. So anyways, I think that that's probably a pretty good overview. Again, you can change line color, you can change when the line is running, whether it's only active during day, night, or both times. You can see where each line is at. You can click on individual vehicles and it will automatically follow them around your city, which again I think is great to help diagnose issues. There's so many different things that the advanced public transit tool will bring to your city, and I would say that you should play around with it a bit. You should see what works for you. And especially once you get to the thousands, you're going to be playing with that tool all the time. You're going to be adjusting how many vehicles are on the route. You're going to be playing with day and night if you have a bunch of leisure districts. There's so many different things that that tool is capable of. I highly, highly recommend using it and really diving deep into this. Again, like seeing if there's a small number of passengers, get rid of that line. This line is picking back up now that it's unbroken. And yeah, I would just say that you should dive into those lines and take a closer look at the transit in your city and see if you can optimize your existing routes instead of adding more. You know, I'm big on efficiency, and I think that if I can make existing lines more efficient, I'd much rather do that than add more lines and add congestion, because the more buses and trams you add, it causes traffic. So you don't want to do that. You don't want to clog up your metro. You really want to focus on making sure that the lines you have are running at peak efficiency. So anyways, I think that's where I'm going to stop for now, and I hope to continue producing more valuable content like this in the future. So if you have any thoughts on things that you want to learn more about, be sure to leave a comment on the video and let me know what you think. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like and maybe share it to your friends. I'm just starting out in the YouTube world and really would like to know what sort of content and information people want to find out about Cities Skylines. And there's certainly a lot of other games that I played that I can dive into that I happen to know a lot about. So definitely let me know what kind of content you want to see on this channel, and I'll see what I can do to deliver it. So anyways, until next time, I'm Rut9. This has been Cities Skylines, a tutorial on advanced public transit management. Thank you.